As a longtime anime enthusiast, I've seen my fair share of samurai tales, but Yaiba Samurai Legend Episode 3, titled Another Cursed Blade, has me glued to my seat, buzzing with excitement and a touch of critique. This episode, part of Wit Studios' vibrant 2025 remake of Gasho Aoyama's classic manga, delivers a whirlwind of action, character growth, and nostalgic charm, all while setting the stage for Yaiba Samurai epic quest. I'm diving into this review with a human lens, exploring the episode through multiple themes: animation and art, narrative and pacing, character development, thematic depth, and sound design, while sharing my personal reactions to what worked, what didn't, and why this episode is a must-watch. Buckle up, because I'm about to unpack why this episode both thrilled me and left me with a few quibbles. Let's start with the visuals, because I really appreciate how Wit Studio flexes its muscles here. The animation in Episode 3 is nothing short of stunning, with fluid sword fights that make every clash of steel feel visceral. The duel between Yaiba and the horned, demonic Takashi Onamaru is a highlight. Each swing of Onamaru's wind god sword is rendered with dynamic camera angles and exaggerated motion that pull you right into the fray. I think Wit Studio nails the balance between modern polish and the cartoony, 90s-inspired aesthetic that pays homage to the original 1993 adaptation. The jungle and urban settings are lush, with vibrant greens and gritty cityscapes that ground the fantastical elements. However, I didn't like how some background characters felt a bit static during the school scenes. They lacked the same lively energy as the main cast. Still, the character designs by Yoshimichi Kameda are a treat. Yaiba's wild, spiky hair and Onamaru's menacing transformation scream Aoyama's signature style, instantly recognizable to Detective Conan fans like me. I also anticipate that future episodes will lean even harder into the supernatural visuals, especially with the Raijin sword's introduction looming. The story picks up with Yaiba facing Onamaru again, only to be humbled by the overwhelming power of the wind god sword. I think the narrative does a fantastic job of raising the stakes. Onamaru's demonic transformation feels like a genuine threat, and Yaiba's realization of his own weakness is a pivotal moment. The episode shifts gears when Kenjuro, Yaiba's father, reveals the existence of the Raijin sword, sending Yaiba on a quest to Tengu Peak to meet the legendary Miyamoto Musashi. I really appreciate how the plot weaves in historical figures like Musashi, grounding the fantastical elements in a way that feels both epic and accessible. That said, I personally don't understand why the episode rushes through Yaiba's emotional processing of his defeat. The pacing is breakneck, which keeps you hooked, but I think a quieter moment to let Yaiba grapple with his inadequacy would have added depth. I'm against cramming too much into 24 minutes, as it risks glossing over character beats. Still, the cliffhanger at Tengu Peak has me itching for Episode 4, and I anticipate Yaiba's encounter with Musashi will be a game-changer. Yaiba Samurai is the heart of this episode, and I love how his brash, wild-child energy is tempered by vulnerability. His defeat at Onamaru's hands forces him to confront his limits, and Minami Takayama's voice acting captures Yaiba's mix of defiance and doubt perfectly. I think this is where the show shines. Yaiba's not just a cocky samurai. He's a kid learning what it means to be a hero. Onamaru, voiced by Yoshimasa Hosoya, is equally compelling. His transformation into a demon-wielding villain is chilling, and I appreciate how the episode hints at his internal conflict before the sword corrupts him. However, I didn't like how Sayaka Mine, voiced by Monica Iwami, feels sidelined here. She's mostly a bystander, and I'm against reducing her to a reactive role when the manga gives her more agency. Kenjuro, on the other hand, steals the show with his gruff yet wise demeanor, though I personally don't understand why his irresponsible traits, like his drunken antics, are played for laughs. It feels dated and jarring. I anticipate Sayaka will get her moment soon, and I'm rooting for her to shine. Thematically, Episode 3 digs into the idea of strength and what it costs to pursue it. Yaiba's journey to Tengu Peak symbolizes his desire to grow, but Onamaru's corruption by the wind god sword serves as a cautionary tale. I think this contrast is brilliantly executed. It's not just about getting stronger, but about staying true to yourself. The episode also explores rivalry, with Yaiba and Onamaru's dynamic crackling with intensity. I really appreciate how their clash feels personal, not just a plot device. That said, I'm against the subtle reliance on 90s-era tropes, like the evil sword corrupts the user cliché, which feels a tad predictable. I don't think it detracts much, but I'd love to see the show subvert expectations down the line. The nod to Miyamoto Musashi adds a layer of historical reverence, tying the story to samurai ideals of discipline and honor, which I find deeply satisfying. I anticipate these themes will deepen as Yaiba faces tougher challenges, and I'm excited to see how the show balances its lighthearted tone with these weightier ideas. Overall, Yaiba Samurai Legend Episode 3 is a thrilling ride that blends nostalgic 90s shonen charm with modern animation prowess. I think Wit Studio has crafted something special here, a show that feels like a love letter to Aoyama's manga while inviting new fans to the party. The animation is gorgeous, the action is pulse-pounding, and the themes of strength and rivalry give it heart. That said, I'm against the rushed pacing and underutilization of characters like Sayaka, and I don't think the reliance on dated tropes always lands. But these are minor gripes in an otherwise stellar episode. I really appreciate how the show captures Yaiba's spirit, a wild, kind-hearted kid chasing greatness, and I anticipate the journey to Tengu Peak will only raise the stakes. If you're a fan of samurai tales, shonen action, or just want a fun, heartfelt anime to binge, Episode 3 will keep you hooked. I'm already counting down to next Saturday, and I think you will be too after watching this.